Gather around, guys. Gather around.
I'm also involved with People for Progress, which is a progressive organization looking to ensure that we are operating in a progressive manner, like having a fair ballot in voting for and electing progressive candidates. This is also sponsored by District 4 Coalition that I know a lot of you folks are familiar with. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to introduce Andy Coleman, who is the president of the Bus for Progress, and he's going to say a few words. Then I'm going to ask Joan Farkas who would like to say a few words about People for Progress, and Wendy Sabin will come up and say a few words about District 4 Coalition for Change. And I think the candidates that have signed up are Jim Keady and Christine Conforti. So I haven't seen either of them here yet.
Right
but,
here, Marianne.
Oh.
Woo! Keady for Congress!
There he is.
Is Christine Conforti here? Is Christine here? Okay. All right, Andy, help me down.
I served many roles. How are we all doing, guys? This is so Marianne and I talked just about 2.5 days ago, and we said to each other, there's nothing for Chris Smith on the list.
Oh.
The only Republican in New Jersey has no gathering. We asked ourselves, who would come? Would anybody come? And this is fantastic. Thank you all.
Believers in democracy.
This gives us all great hope. So my name is Andy Coleman. I'm with the Bus for Progress, which you see out over here. The bus is actually open. It's warm inside there. If you want to come inside, use the restroom, warm up for a few minutes, walk into the bus, and grab a seat for yourself, all right? So, and also I want to thank Marianne. Where's Marianne? Because Marianne did a lot of work bringing this all together. So, all right, guys. So Chris Smith has publicly said that he's not going to vote for impeachment.
Vote Chris Smith out of office.
Yes. So he made a quote. He made a quote. His quote said, "I want the truth, but in order to initiate an inquiry, there has to be an allegation of serious wrongdoing."
He lied!
But in 1999, Chris Smith voted to impeach Clinton.
Hypocrite!
So in '99, Clinton was doing high crimes and misdemeanors by lying about a sexual affair. But Donald Trump, according to Chris Smith, is okay. So,
Smith is blind. Chris Smith is blind.
so obviously Chris Smith was upset that Bill Clinton lied. But the Washington Post has been tracking all of Trump's lies. And on December 10th, last I checked, 15,413 lies.
If his lips are moving, he's lying.
So Smith was upset about Clinton, but Donald Trump, boy, he's had sex with porn stars while his wife was pregnant. He used campaign funds to pay them off, and his lawyer's in jail.
You are the
And
company
he stole
you
from his own
keep.
charity.
Individual one.
Individual one.
So Smith voted this summer millions of dollars to help the people in the Ukraine for military funding. The Ukraine is being attacked by Russia. Ukraine has 45 million people, men, women, and children, under attack every day by Russian forces. And Trump held that money. That's right. And Trump would have still be holding the money if he didn't get caught. But by not voting for impeachment, Smith is okay with that. Every American intelligence agency has said that Russia was behind the the 2016 meddling with our election. Everyone has said that. And they've all said that Russia is getting involved in meddling with our 2020 election. But that doesn't seem to bother Chris Smith. There's been nothing that Trump has done to stop that because Trump wants Russia to help him again for 2020.
That's right.
So by not voting for impeachment, Chris Smith is okay with that as well.
Him and Moscow Mitch.
So Chris Smith has voted. Chris Smith has authored bills against child abduction, against sex trafficking, and against torture. And we all know his opinion about abortion. Right? But Donald Trump has been caging people in the southern border and separating parents from their children. So by not voting for impeachment, Smith is okay with that as well.
That's being a good Catholic.
Trump trusts Putin over his own intelligence agencies. Members of the FBI and the CIA risk their lives every day for our security. The other day, Trump called the FBI folks scum.
Rejecting.
President Trump does not recognize Putin as an enemy. By voting against impeachment, Smith is okay with that as well. So by voting against impeachment, Chris Smith legitimizes Donald Trump. Personally, I don't understand why the Republicans keep putting all their eggs in the Trump basket. They're scared. Trump doesn't care about the Republican Party, he cares about Trump. So Mueller investigated Trump for 674 days. And at the end of that investigation, there was an interview by ABC's George Stephanopoulos. He asked Trump, would you accept the assistance of a foreign power for the 2020 race? And Trump said, yes. He said, why not? Just as the Mueller investigation was released, Trump was calling Ukrainian President Zelensky to get him involved in the 2020 election. And while impeachment hearings were happening just 2 weeks ago, he had Giuliani back in the Ukraine doing his crazy whatever he's doing. Corruption. So Trump does not believe in the Constitution. Trump's never read it. Trump doesn't care what's in the Constitution.
He can't read and he can't listen.
And he can't listen either.
No pictures.
Trump does what he wants, when he wants. Has always been that way. In my opinion, this is not over. In my opinion, Trump is doing things today that we just don't know about. And we will find out about it soon.
He needs to testify.
So, Representative Smith, you are better than this.
It's a matter of opinion.
Smith has, in several occasions, voted against his party. Not very often, but he has. Trump is going to take the entire Republican Party down with him, in my opinion. And this is Smith's chance to separate himself and have some courage.
That's right. Profiles and courage.
So I say, Chris Smith, do what is right. Here is your chance to vote for impeachment.
Yes! Do what's right!
If he does the wrong thing, he may very well be defeated in November by people who are here tonight and will be speaking to us next. Thank you all for being here. Remind us to warm up, use the restroom.
Yeah.
She's a co-chair of People for Progress. Yeah, what Mary Ann just said. I am the co-chair of People for Progress. We are a progressive group that are working to clean up the elections in New Jersey and on a federal level.
Thank you!
There's some interesting news. Anybody who's
been following the state party chairmanship fight. Evidently, they have now reached an agreement, and Chairman Curry, who is Murphy's choice and is not beholden to Norcross in quite the same way as Leroy Jones, will remain the state. That is in no small part due to progressive groups and progressive activists who are out every day making sure that people do the right thing. We're here by Congressman Smith's office. Many of us and many of you are here every Wednesday by Congressman Smith's office. And you know darn well, Chris Smith is never here.
No show.
So go down to I don't know.
He's at home in Virginia.
Where is Chris Smith? In Virginia. Right. So we're renewing the call for Chris Smith to have a town hall. You are going to be seeing things on Facebook. You are going to be getting texts asking you to call Chris Smith's office and demand a town hall.
Call and demand a town hall.
We are going to be sponsoring a People's Town Hall on February 6th in Ocean Township. And we will invite Mr. Smith. And when once again he does not show up, as he has not shown up in the past, we will bring our case to him in videos, and some of you have been through this before. So just be on the lookout for that. We are back to call out Chris Smith, our absentee congressman, and find out where he is, what he's doing, and make him answer to us.
So Mr. Smith doesn't go to Washington.
So Mr. Smith can no longer go to Washington. And you're going to be meeting some people who are working very, very hard to defeat him, to make sure that he does not return again. So I want to thank you all for coming out again. Beyond the thank you again for all your activism.
The District 4 Coalition for Change basically has the same mission as People's Progress. So we'll bypass that speech. So now is Christine Conforti here?
Yes, no.
Come on down.
All right, Christine Conforti is one of the candidates running for Congress in the 4th District. And I'm going to hand it over to you.
I want to start with expressing gratitude. It's cold, it was rainy and snowy, and you guys are out here, and I know you are some of the most energized, motivated, hardworking activists in New Jersey. And I want to have you leave with a thought on how we can expand this bubble to finally retire Chris Smith. But I want to start with just acknowledging why we're here. We're here because of the abuse of power. We have an abusive relationship with our government. And every public issue that we're not satisfied with is because of that. And so while there's the nuts and bolts and details about impeachment, the truth is that Mr. Trump represents a whole class of people. Mr. Smith represents a whole class of people who don't care about any of us. They are in bed with corporations, and they're doing everything that they can to hold their power and to put profit before people and our planet. And that's what we're here to stop. So it's not just about impeachment, it's about the entire system that we clearly can't trust. If we could trust the system to do what's right and to defend the Constitution, we wouldn't have to be rallying here right now, because we would trust in our representation to bring their expertise and their listening and put country over party. And I'm running because I want to see that we put people and planet over profit. When we talk about our country, we're essentially talking about profit. And while I might be new to politics and campaigning, I'm not new to social justice, and I am not new to sustainability. So I want to tell you just a little quick story on where I see profit going before people and planet. Is anyone familiar with the new movie coming out, Dark Waters, about DuPont?
Great.
You saw it, awesome. So I learned yesterday that my good friend who's been helping me with the campaign, works in PR, in her early part of the career, worked for DuPont. And she was on the front lines trying to defend and spin what they were doing in a positive way. And this one fact that she shared with me just explains everything. She told me that the executives that she kept meeting with would always say, well, we're within government regulation. We're under the limits. And that's really the fight we need to fight, is that our government is not setting regulations that are defending us. I left working for the United Nations with the Global Compact, the world's largest corporate sustainability initiative, because I could see it was not doing what it was set up to do. It was not having an impact. How many people here have a family member who has cancer? Or know a loved one who has cancer? Yeah. So apparently 50% of men and 30% of women will have cancer in their lifetime. I know this because my mother was diagnosed on October 28th, a very healthy, fit woman her whole life. That is not normal. Cancer is the product of corporate profits and chemical companies polluting with permission from our government. So I want to end you with a bit of, we're all here to yell and be in solidarity about what we're standing against, but we have to start also talking about what we're for, particularly in the 4th District. That seems to be near impossible to retire Mr. Smith, who does not defend our Constitution, is not putting our health and the planet above his own power and profit.
We're going to do it this time.
We're going to do it this time, and so here's my suggestion on how we could do it. We have to expand this bubble, and I believe the way that we expand it is we have to change our message to connect with people who wouldn't come out here on a cold, rainy night, but who understand what matters. Health matters. I just told you 50% of men are going to be touched with cancer. There's a way where we can tie our story to the complete destruction of our health, the complete destruction of our coastline, and tie it back to corporate profit and tie it back to the regulations that are not being set, that is making everyday people suffer. There was a time when it was just communities of color and underprivileged communities. Today we are all suffering, particularly when we talk about health. So that's what my campaign's focused on, is on expanding the bubble, speaking of disengaged voters, all the people who we would love to be in this space right now with us being activists. We need to expand our bubble of activists. So I thank you so much for being out here. I look forward to speaking with you over the next 3 months. My name is Christine Conforti. The website is consciouscongress.com. And keep fighting the good fight. Thank you so much.
Stay in the fight. Stay in the fight. Stay in the fight. Stay in the fight.
Is David Applefield here?
Look at all of us out here. Look at the age of us that are out here. Where are you? That's right. We need out here voting.
The third candidate is Hassan. I cannot pronounce his last name. Shahadi. Is Hassan here tonight? Okay. Stephanie Schmid is the 4th candidate running, and unfortunately she had a previous engagement at a meet and greet in Neptune. So we understand this was last minute, so that couldn't be avoided. But I'm sure you'll get to see her in the future. And the last one is Jim Keady. I know he's here because he's
Keady for Congress!
Hello, people of the 4th District. How you doing tonight? I wish we didn't have to be here. I sincerely wish we did not have to gather on a cold, rainy night in December cheering on the impeachment of the President of the United States.
It's worth it.
We all know that Donald Trump is the most corrupt president that we have seen in the history of the United States of America. We know from the Mueller report that he obstructed justice. We know from the impeachment hearings that he's obstructed Congress. We know that he has abused his power with the Ukraine situation, and just generally, his administration is riddled with corruption. We have seen more people indicted, more people prosecuted. This was a guy who promised America that he was going to drain the swamp, and he has filled that D.C. swamp with creatures like we have never seen before. He killed Epstein. The House. The House of Representatives, the People's House, has done its job, and they will finish that job tomorrow. They will vote to impeach Donald Trump.
Bravo.
However, we cannot simply focus on Donald Trump.
Yes.
Okay? Trump is simply a symptom of a toxic political system that we need to collectively transform. We also cannot simply focus on the absentee congressman from Virginia.
And he's an accidental one, too.
Right now, along with needing to impeach our president, we have 87 million Americans who are uninsured or underinsured. We have a climate crisis that has become a climate emergency and is threatening the very existence of our planet and the human race. We have an oligarchy that has taken over our representative democracy. Far too many elected officials, if we're honest, on both sides of the aisle, have been bought and sold by transnational corporations to do their bidding instead of doing the bidding of the American people. We have hundreds of thousands of our fellow Americans who will be sleeping on the street on this very cold night.
They will.
We have 18 million Americans who spend half of their paycheck every month just to pay the rent or the mortgage. We have a whole generation. You asked where are the young people? They're trying to dig out from under the debt they have that they've been saddled with, trying to get an education and better themselves.
Don't forget the parents.
So we as Democrats and left-leaning unaffiliated voters who may be with us, or Republicans with a conscience who may be with us, we have to ask, what are we going to do about this? We can't just get rid of Moscow Mitch, and we can't just get rid of Trump. Yes, we need to do both these things. And we need to get rid of Congressman Smith. But if Trump gets impeached, if by that snowball's chance in hell, Trump gets impeached by the GOP Senate, we got Pence.
Women will go and hang out with us.
We as Democrats,
The LGBTQ will come.
we as Democrats and people who align with our democratic ideas and ideals, we all need to re-ground ourselves in the values of FDR.
Yes.
We need to rebuild the Democratic Party in a way that it's a party that's fighting for the middle class, the working class, and the poor. We have enough people in D.C. that are fighting for the millionaires, the billionaires, and the giant corporations. It's time that everyday people and Main Street had a voice in Washington, D.C.
Take the money out! Take the money out!
We have to organize. We have to organize around the climate crisis and fight for a Green New Deal. We have to organize to get money out of politics so the people's voice can be heard. We have to organize for Medicare for all so that every American has the health care that they deserve. We have to organize for college for all, whether that's a 4-year college or it's going to a trade school, so that the next generation can really get a chance at the American dream. We have to organize to make sure we are getting true racial justice. We need criminal justice reform. We need to make sure that our reproductive rights are protected. Okay? Impeaching Trump is not going to do those things.
No.
It's a start.
Okay?
Yeah, it'll help.
It's going to make us really excited, I agree. But it's not going to address those core democratic policies that we just laid out. Should Trump be impeached?
Yes!
Yes, absolutely. But impeachment is not a panacea. We need to transform the political landscape in our nation that allowed for someone like Donald Trump to even get elected to be the president of the United States.
It shouldn't be a dog catcher.
We need to be organizing around our progressive democratic ideas, ideals, and policies. We have to stop being afraid to stand up for what we believe in. I'm tired of hearing people say we need to pander to the right. We need to get Republican voters to support our candidates. No, we need to stand firm in our democratic values. Fight for the policies that will get Americans here in the 4th District up off the couch, excited to knock on doors and help us retire this 39-year absentee congressman back to Virginia where he wants to live. We each need to make the commitment. We've already started knocking on doors. That's how we win this. We're not going to win it with money. We're not going to win it with television commercials. We're going to win it with shoe leather and a flyer and a clipboard, hitting every neighborhood, hitting every street, hitting every doorstep, telling people, we're going to fight for you. We're going to organize so that your family can have a better life. Yes, we want to get Trump out of office, but we want to transform America, reground us in those values, the ones that make the hair come up on our arms when we hear those speeches by Dr. King. This is what we each have to commit to doing from now through November.
Keep hope alive.
Because again, even if by some miracle the GOP Senate finds their conscience and convicts Donald Trump, we can't go home. Because all those issues that I laid out still exist. The landscape that Trump was able to exploit, the fear, the income gap that makes people afraid, the fear that I can't put food on the table or pay the rent. This is what Donald Trump exploited. We have to change that collectively. And we're going to do it by, don't worry about them. We're going to do it.
Ignore them. Ignore them.
All right, go on.
Lock him up. 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 Lock him up.
Listen, you'll learn something.
So, we need to organize. We need to prioritize. We need to prioritize the climate crisis and the Green New Deal. We need to prioritize getting that big money out of politics. We need to prioritize getting Medicare for all so every American has health care. We need to prioritize racial justice, criminal justice, protecting our reproductive rights. And if we prioritize these core democratic issues and policies, and we win them, and we change people's lives, we will never have to stand out on a cold, rainy night like this. Because we will have won and maintained the 4th District. We will have turned the last red donut hole in our state blue. We'll hold on to a Republican House. Or a Democratic House. Yes, I did. Thank you. Right? We'll hold on to the Democratic House. We will build on a Democratic Senate. We will put a Democrat in the Oval Office. When we do these things again, we have to hold those elected officials' feet to the fire, even if they're on our team, to make sure that they deliver on these policies. So that once again, we will never have to gather on a night like this, hoping for the impeachment of the President of the United States of America. Are you with me?
Yes!
Are you with each other?
Yes!
Are we going to win this thing in November?
Yes!
Let's get it done.
This is what democracy looks like.
Hang on, Marianne's got something to say.
This is what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
I apologize. This woman just here asked me, what's your name? My name is Jim Keady. And I had a couple other people ask me this when I showed up. Yes, I am running for the United States House of Representatives to represent the people of the 4th District. Hope to be able to earn your support.
on. Has everybody signed in? No. Oh my God. Many people. Where are they? You're not there. Where?
So, folks,
All right, we're gonna put it. There's 2 clipboards. We'll put it here, and please sign up. Print so we can read your name. We have to keep in touch. We have to keep together and stay together.
Thank you.
yeah, folks,
Together so quickly.
the Senate will be voting in January. We need to keep up this pressure. Tomorrow, call Chris Smith's office. Tell them impeach. Smith is in his Fox News bubble. He thinks people don't care about impeachment. We care. Look at this. All right? Call Smith tomorrow. Get your names on the clipboard. Check out the groups who are sponsoring us today. Check out the Bus for Progress.
You also have to call that New Jersey Democrat that's switching parties.
Yes. Van Drew is a whole other situation, but right, call his office as well. Absolutely right. Stand together, folks. This is not ending tonight.
I want to say something to that issue. He is in that office because of the Democratic leadership.
That's right.
They did not support the progressive candidate who had the support of the Democrats in her district. It was a fix. They had superdelegates voting for Van Drew. And look what they got. Look what they got.
Republican is a Democrat.
That's right. Yes. Yeah. Come.
Hi, my name is Diane. And many of my fellow Wednesday ralliers are here, and I'd like to let you know this is a familiar spot for us, but so is Chris Smith's front door. We stand there every single Wednesday. Was it 3rd year, Wendy?
Yes, 30 years.
It's our 3 years, every single Wednesday.
Have you ever seen him?
No. We email him, we call, we ask for town halls, we go into the office and